Welcome, everybody. I'm Meredith with the Brahma Kumaris on Facebook, Miami. And every week, or every other week, I just keep being amazed at some of the wonderful friends that we've had, that we've worked with over the last, I don't know how many years, 10, even 20 years. But tonight is an exceptional friend. We go back at least 10 years. Willie Stewart, if you already don't know of him, because he's quite well known, not just in Miami, but in the world, is a celebrated musician, an international musician. And with Third World Band, he was with Third World, the international group out of Jamaica. And he's gone on to do so many things. We're going to talk about lots of things tonight, all of the things that he's done over the years. And this man is really on a mission to kind of help heal the world. And that's what I love most about Willie. And I'm thrilled also to get to introduce to you, but you probably already know Marianne Weiss, because Marianne is a meditator and teacher with the Brahma Kumaris and an old friend. She and I go back, oh my God, a lot of years. And she was a teenager, actually, we met. And she's also the vice president with Big Brothers and Big Sisters in South Florida. She's a therapist and overall just very, very accomplished person. And she goes back with Willie too for many years. So we really got a lot to share tonight. So both of you, welcome. But Willie, let me start with you. Willie, it was, like I said, some years ago, we met and we went on to work on a lot of different projects. And I wanted to start with and just start with a little bit about your background and how it all began. And we're talking you're being part of a very, very large musical group for many years.
Well, thank you for having me on the program, Meredith. Marianne is like family,
Yeah.
both of you. And I appreciate our relationship. It has been, you have played, Meredith, a very important part of the whole of what I do today. And I thank you. And Marianne, with kids, your heart is in the right place. My life as a child, I grew up in England. I grew up in England, and being in England, I was able to. I had my brothers and my mother and my father. My brothers were musical. One was a collector of music. He would play all of the blues and things, honky tonk songs, and he just loved. So I'd be hearing all this music as a kid growing up in England, because in England you was hearing rock music and Beatles and all those animals, it was called, all those wayward groups. And my other brother played guitar, so I used to hear that. And my father had a boarding house, a 12-bedroom boarding house, and we lived in the bottom part of the house. And my godmother, who was Scottish, lived in there too. She had a son called George, and he was a professional drummer, a jazz drummer. So he would drum sometimes. And one day he says, "Play something," and I just played it. And he told my mother, my brother, that he's a natural. This is him. He could play drums and do incredible stuff with it.
How you got the job with one of the biggest, bands in the world, right? A reggae, one of the largest,
So
second to maybe Bob Marley, right?
right. Well, that
Yeah.
would be Third World
Yeah.
Band,
Third World,
international
right.
band. And how I got there was that we were, as kids, we were all members of Inner Circle nearly, except for one. So we knew each other as kids. So when I left Inner Circle to go into to 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 leave Inner Circle, they were still in a band. Kat Ali, guitarist, a vocal, he was in and he left, and the keyboard player. And so they formed Third World, and then I was always there supporting them. And then eventually I had a chance. They looked at me and said, "Boy, their drummer left." And they looked at me and said, "Willie, you're the only person that can come into Third World without a audition." And I ended up playing with Third World in 1976. 75 was New Year's Eve night. We're playing at Boscoville at a hotel. And then that was my first engagement, and bam, we were touring in San Francisco, and then that was it. With all the albums we did, I spent the better of 22 years
Amazing. So, Willie, I mean, you had this amazing life touring and being with this, really, really well-known uh, band. But what really interested me was that you were all peace activists, that you were all really committed to doing work that would help bring peace to the world. So it wasn't just even one person; it was the entire group, right? And you've received a lot of recognition. The group
Right.
did for its work with peace. How did that happen or evolve?
Well,
And then,
from kids, we were all like,
yeah.
our mission was to play music and to create something with consciousness. If we did our thing, we wanted to inspire people to greater heights than themselves. I remember when we did the Amnesty International, and we opened it, MTV at Giant Stadium, 80,000 people, and MTV had just came on, and we had opened it, and all our songs. You have some groups that would have to pick one or two songs, but we had at least 12 that we could play for Amnesty International that related to Amnesty International,
Mm.
and we played for that, and it was phenomenal. And we continued also, we for South Africa, the freedom of South Africa. We played a lot of role in that, because each time with the concerts we showed about, the whole apartheid thing was how, we in each show we show that this is can't continue. South Africa cannot be like this way, because it's really unfair. And we stood for that. And even a story with South Africa, they wanted to bring us to Sun City, because if you know, with the South Africa thing, they had a whole where artists band. There was a band going there, and Sun City was their place to propagate their crop, their
Mhm.
continuation. So they say, "Oh,
Mm.
we're doing things in Sun City." They offered you big money. They offered us over $500,000 to go there. They keep on offering. We said, "Why would we do that when what we stand for is to liberate all people to live as human beings?" So we met with one person there to tell them how we feel. And they said, "Oh, we're going to change the schools." And we said, the only time we'll go and play for South Africa is when our people is free, and we play for the freedom of our people in South Africa.
Mm.
And
So you really were not just talking about peace or
no, we lived it.
playing music for peace, but you really had to stand up to
And
what
and
it was you
I'll go further.
believed in.
I'll go further. When Nelson Mandela came, we
Yeah.
had to play with CBS in Atlanta when he
Mm.
came to Atlanta. And
Yeah.
when I saw, I've never seen so much security. I never noticed so much security existed in life. And then he was coming to Jamaica a month after. And so I helped plan the concert at the stadium. So they were in Jamaica. They were going to put Nelson Mandela in the city, in a little place. I said, "Can't be done." I had a meeting with the vice president there, and prime minister, vice prime minister. And I said, "This can't work." So they
Mm.
made me head of the thing. I said, "You have to put him at the stadium." I said, he would fill the stadium. What I saw more, when he came and we put him at the stadium, 40,000 people in and 40,000 people outside the stadium.
Oh,
And we had to do
wow.
the whole music for it. And it goes further with that, with me and that, because at that time we were, I wanted to see what South Africa was. And I
Hmm.
traveled the day it was free. I traveled that night and landed in the morning at 8 o'clock in South Africa for 2 weeks, so that I could see for myself. You could see people couldn't pull up so fast. You see the thing, and when you could see the soldiers how they come in. You could feel it, and the people were rejoicing for the freedom. But you also could feel that something could happen in Alexandra.
What an experience. And you've continued to have all kinds of experiences like this. And I wanted to bring Marianne Weiss in right
Yes,
now. Marianne, you've had some really special experiences, and we're talking about community and doing things locally, which to me is very, very important, because how are we going to change the world? Or, all of us that believe in changing the world, and you know that the Brahma Kumaris certainly do, if we're not working with the people also in our lives and in our communities, as you've been doing in Miami all of these years, Willie. But Marianne, tell me a little bit about your relationship with Willie and some of the work that you've done.
Well, I want to start off by saying, Willie's talking about 40,000 people in a stadium with Nelson Mandela. And so it seems so big, but I have categorically witnessed over the years how the impact that he has made on our small group of kids here has been just as big, just as impactful as I'm sure he managed to do in that stadium when it was full. So we reached out to Willie when it's been what, 8, 9 years
yeah,
already?
yeah. It was 2013.
You have the most incredible memory.
No,
That's right.
I keep on looking at the stuff I remember. 212, Meredith says, I have a friend. She came to the show and she says, I have a friend. You have to meet Marianne. Anyway, don't
That's
let me,
right.
let me go ahead. Go ahead. This is a three-way connection that I am so grateful for. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
that's right. And I don't want to make this very long because I think this is about you today, but I want to say I reached out to you asking you if you would do something for our teenagers in our program here at Big Brothers Big Sisters, because we didn't have people wanted to donate their time to work with the younger kids, and the teenagers were sort of left behind and forgotten. And I reached out to you and I said, can we do a little workshop with some of our teenagers and their mentors? And Willie said, sure, find the place. And we found a location at Miami, Edison High.
Right.
And I had the volunteers and the kids there. And Willie, because Willie does everything with such pride and such love and care, he shows up with a moving sized truck of musical instruments, of microphones, of equipment for a little workshop for I think maybe 30 kids and 30 mentors. And it just blew us all out of the water. It took him 3 hours to set up. And then before I knew it, the kids were performing with him at the Adrian Arch Center to a sold out show. And then at the American Airlines Arena. And these are kids that stayed with the program. He trained them in 6-week intervals to work on the instruments and learn to do the beats and perform with the instruments. But I think what really stayed with the kids is not so much the music, but the energy of the community that he created. And to this day, now these students, these kids, they're 24, 25. What is one of the first things that always comes out of their mouth when I see them? How's Mr. Willie? How's Mr. Stewart? When can we see him again? And, Willie is not a man of few words in an interview. But when he's performing with these kids and he's rehearsing, he is inside the zone of that music. He is a man of a few words. But the impact that he made on those kids was beyond describable, and it will have a lifelong impact on them. So I know we have more kids to serve, and I know Willie's on a mission, and I know that there are peace activists out there, but Willie is somebody who embodies peace and his activism and his mission. So I'm just thrilled to sit next to you guys here for a few minutes.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful to hear, because you worked so closely with Willie, and that was part of really that was kind of part of your Rhythms of Africa programs that you did over many years, which consisted of a gigantic group of not just the young people that you brought in, like Marianne's group, but you also brought in some very, very well-known musicians to work with the kids, right?
Definitely, because Rhythms of Africa is a program where, well, I don't like to use these terms, but it's used like our at-risk kids in schools who sometimes, because of where they live and their zip code, they're influenced by not so wonderful, situations. And I think it's because of they can't afford to do after-school programs. And music is what touches the lives of many of our youth. And I talk to teachers over and over again, and some they say that a lot of these students don't learn the normal academic way, but they can remember 30 rap songs. So their attention span is good because it's in a place that they like and love. So if you play rhythm with them, it tunes into what they love. And they start using, and you can say, oh, learn the science, play a little game with them. So I show teachers how to play games with them, and they get very much in tune. So that attention span is expanded. And they say, oh, can we play it again? Say, yes, but learn science, learn the math. So the association, by the association, they get to like the maths, the English, the geography, whatever it is. And this helps them because it registers in their head in the same part where they remember those rap songs, because they can sing it 30 of them. So it's a matter of them being getting that. So the music is what I think is the most powerful thing to change them in a lot of sense, because they relate to it, and everybody should have a chance. My thing is that not because every child should have a dream regardless of the zip code. Every child should be given a chance. And if they have a chance, the music, what it does for them, they start playing, they learn, they make friends, and they start to say, oh, wow, but I can do something. But when the show, the whole thing at the end is when the show comes, they're nervous. Like I always say, when Big Brother and Sister come, we brought 4 schools, it's 60 kids, you know. And I must give my hat to Marianne, because I've never met another person like Marianne. To me, her God-given position is right there, but it's going to be bigger. Because what she's going to write, the book that she's going to write, she don't know it yet, is going to make a difference to the whole of America. Because she knows exactly, her heart is in the right place. Everything. She's gentle how she do it. I've never met her, and she made all the people come, Big Brother, Sisters, whatever, to come, and she went out of her way. You see, it's all about love. If you're passionate about what you do, like how Marianne is with kids and fighting for their rights in a peaceful way, but concerned, she's a mother of all mothers. So because of that love will transform. That's the peace, because there's no higher peace than love. So with that love, that is what makes change. And children feel that. Teenagers feel that when you care, it can make things incredible. So that's what, so we go into schools, we play rhythms of Africa, and then it's free to the school, it's free to everything, we get to everybody. And we used to do a lot of the shows free, but what happened is that the people start getting the tickets, and because it's free, so we charge a little price for them to come in. And they see the musicians inspire the kids are inspired, and they feel great about it. And as I said, when we played that show at Adrian Art Center, and they got the clap, you could see a veil come out of the children. These I am somebody. I can do something. And the key with this is that to bring to places of great culture like Adrian Art Center, Broward Center, when they can see when their peers, their children and families, we make sure that they can come to the show, get front seats, and some of their other kids and brothers see it. It deters them to say, but I can do that too. So it deters them. And the whole thing about it, our Embrace Music Foundation, our nonprofit, is saying that keep music in schools. We can stop crime. We can, even every child can have just one, and we do it short for one reason, to say, if they can do this in 6 weeks or 7 weeks, can you give them 5 years? Can you imagine what they could be from it? So that was the purpose.
I'm thinking, you know what, if we had more programs like this and more people like you, Willie, and Marianne, the world would change. And I don't even think slowly. If everybody could have a teacher like you working at school, you know, in the schools, or coming in, not every day, but you do this series. And so I hope there's somebody out there, like an educator or a teacher, that says, wow, I want that in my school. But I want to move on to what you're very excited about now. And this is called Rhythms in Conversation. And you can look right behind Willie and see his latest project. So he's going beyond, or he's also including others, you know, in his project. And we're talking about maybe the parents, maybe adults. So it's families. And so tell us about it. And we're going to also, in a little while, they'll get to see a clip of what you do.
Excellent. Now move to the left. In Jamaica, move to the left. Right. Left, go right, and left. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhythm. And when you clap, and stop. Give your facial movement. Excellent. Keep it going.
the whole thing about this is that in our Embrace Music Foundation, we deal with at-risk kids a lot. We deal with changing, the whole platform of bringing them fortifying music and all that, but also includes also children and families. So during my whole 5 years ago, although it's a part of what I do already, I do team building for Corporate America, do all of those workshops, which because I must give big thanks to Meredith, because Meredith was very responsible in the beginning of when we met, is promoting me in Miramar. She did me and put me on the special program, and that launched my whole give thanks. And you have been such a beautiful person with the work that you're doing. I mean, there's no words to describe it. How you, the love that you have, and how you care, and for the peace for everybody. You bring people together. You are the link. You're that glue that brings people together, no matter how. And your peacefulness, it's so beautiful. You are really, when God opened the door and said, "Come in, my angel." You did a great job.
Thank you. Well, we're all in this together. And again, I really want to give credit to the Brahma Kumaris, because we've been students of the Brahma Kumaris, Marianne and me and so many others, for many years. And we've learned, through meditation and spirituality, that's how I learned that everything is about peace and love. And so I think any way that people can get these messages, however, wherever they go to classes or they go to music programs, where we need to have these thoughts and have these feelings in our life, because otherwise, look what's going on in the world. I think that it's just really more negativity and anger and hostility. There is another way. There really is. And I want to just quickly move to something that we all did together, and Peace in the Park, which was a Brahma Kumari and Willie Stewart, and we all worked together, and you provided the music and the young people, and it was all about bringing peace to Hollywood Arts Park. And there was all kinds of things going on, but I think you were definitely the stars of the program. Here it is, so people can just see it a little bit. We can talk about this, Willie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that is what we call, that was Rhythms of Africa at the Brahma Kumaris. What we did play for that Peace in the Park in Hollywood. And we brought the children, and they're performing. It was just a beautiful vibe. Everybody I think they were surprised at the level of the children's playing and the whole production.
And those were our kids.
And those
it was
those
like
are the
full,
same kids we
full
talk
circle.
about. Yeah, that's Adrian Arts. We took the kids from Big Brothers and Sisters, and Miami kids, 4 schools, the same 60 that we brought in. And we was able to do, that's the first time I was able to do 3 Rhythms of Africa in one lick. I mean, in Jamaica we say that, in one time, because they started at Adrian Arts Center, and then when Gail and the lady who was head of Big Brother Sister, they saw them at Adrian, because you were going to bring, I think, Foo Fighters. They says, no, our kids going to perform. And I believe it was, I saw the video the other day. It was amazing. I mean, the kids really came up. And then we got to do, this was the 3rd one, and it really made them see in different angles, different people, how they could be ambassadors of peace of their own self by playing what they did and seeing the reaction. And because the songs are always conscious, or we're showing a cultural thing. And with the tubes, funny, I use the tubes to play rhythms in a sense where people come together. And when they play together, those tubes, those boomwalkers, it's like I use it for meditation, in the sense that people can close their eyes and feel that they're traveling and hear their rhythm as an orchestra and connecting to a bigger self than themselves.
All I can say is,
that's
there
my,
we were.
look at that, beautiful.
Peace in the Park. This was Willie remembered, right, 8 years ago, and there were all kinds of booths there as well. Meditation. There's Veronica, who is our director of the Meditation Center.
The best lady there,
and Donna,
cooks there. Yeah, man, beautiful.
Yeah, you're good friends of yours, Willie.
Yes,
Everybody
wonderful
loves
people.
you. Veronica loves you. Donna loves you, and we have someone behind Donna, Krishna, but he lives in Orlando, so I don't know how well you know him. He's a physician.
I met a lot of people there, but to remember names, I'm of the age that I'm very honored to have met all the those wonderful, peaceful people, and I learned a lot. And even some of the meditations that you brought me through it has helped me to understand, because my program energizes people. and it brings them to an energy, and they leave on a spiritual high. But I've also learned to bring them down by with the tubes. So what I learned from you, Meredith, and Marianne, in that.
Yeah.
So I let them go into a meditation, but they're listening. They're listening to us, and they're playing, and they're adding to that meditation. So instead of singing, they're playing the different rhythms, and it's musical. It's something like Chinese mandarins. And the more they play, and I say, listen, close your eyes and imagine yourself in a beautiful place. Imagine yourself could be in Hawaii. You can come out of all of this, and you can escape through music. You be a part of that escape yourself, because musicians, when we play, we're playing music, and we're the escape. Well, to me, I never take no credit for music. God give us that vibration, and we're just the messengers. It's like you drink the orange juice. Orange juice tastes nice, but we're just the glass, the vessel. So when he brings that vessel on you here, and you're using the musician, you're there. But when you start playing it yourself, it's a different experience. Just like when the children play the percussion, because they are now they're the conduit for helping with that meditation. And they'll be meditators for themselves as they join groups. So by playing that rhythm, they build into a mass of rhythm, and it becomes a musical piece that is unique to themselves.
Willie, everything you do, I think, is connected to just really, really bringing so much goodness to the world. And I wish everybody could see you out there in the world, because I have seen what you do to not just the young people, the kids, but the audiences. Anytime I've ever brought people, and I've tried to bring as many people as I can to your programs, people walk out and they're so changed.
Yes.
Doesn't matter
They
how
say
old
best
they are,
concert ever,
right?
that they've ever been to.
Well, I'm going to share something with you here now that Marianne came to the last concert we did with us just 2 weeks before. 2 weeks, and she brought some of my same students, which, thank you. I mean, it was that was my heart. I was in tears, you know. But the playing there, we had the biggest crowd that we've ever had for Rhythms of Africa, 3,000 people or something like that. And when we played the concert, it's like, to me, if we knew it was a 3.5 hour concert, and some people like saying, boy, it was too long. And I thought that some things carried out. But if we knew that we were going to lock down for the 2 weeks, a half an hour, everybody would be even more greater for half an hour more. Because a nurse said to me, cut the long story short, after a lot of people put it on their phone. So she said she was a top nurse for the COVID, and she was getting depressed. And she just played it, and she was immediately energized. It brought her to a place of happiness that was phenomenal. So to me, it's like a lot of people go to concerts, say they stay on a high for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, remembering it. But to me, when people come in love, when people come in unity, when the music and they see the children and it plays, it does something that is like church in a different way. And so I don't really take credit, because it's the musicians that play. It's a chemistry that I think that the Almighty. The day you start taking our person says it's me, then you have lost it, because we're bigger than that. I'm just an ant, and we're just here to do a greater work. And that is what I think that's important. That
it's obvious to me that that's how you live. You don't just do it, it's work. You live this all the time. And I didn't mention you have a wonderful wife, Carol, and 6 children. Some of them are musicians. I know one is a wonderful singer. And you have a beautiful family as well. And that says a lot too about you. We're out of time. In fact, we've gone way over time. I just want to say, it's just always wonderful to be around you and with your energy. And I just hope you continue to make an impact on the world. So if anybody would like to reach you, how do they reach you?
They can reach me. My number. They can give you. You can give them my number after.
Yeah, or the name of the foundation on the web.
Yes, they can give the foundation, and I can give them my email address. But I can give you that, and you can put it up, right?
Okay, but they should reach you through maybe Embrace Music Foundation. Is that the easiest way?
Yeah, and they can reach me through there, and they can write. It'll be www.embracemusicfoundation.org.
Yes.
And they can go there and they can reach me through that, or the same www.musicfoundation@gmail.com. So it's at Gmail, embracemusicfoundation@gmail.com.
And
so that's all the links. And they can
maybe they don't have kids.
They can subscribe to me on YouTube, my channel, but I will send all that, and you can put it at the end of the program if it's possible.
Okay, will do.
Yes.
And I want to say too is you are involved with the community with your new project, Rhythms in Conversation, where you're doing these programs all over in different places throughout South Florida. So they should watch for that. You also, as I said, have done Rhythms in Africa over many years, and I'm sure you continue to do that if the opportunity arises. And you do parties. I have actually been to gatherings of people that decide we want Willie Stewart, and that's quite amazing as well. So if you want to just bring people together in happiness and have a lot of fun, Willie, you're the guy, right?
I would like to say thank you to my country too, because last year I was awarded the Order of Distinction, which is the 6th highest award in Jamaica. And you know, I give thanks for that. And the city of Pembroke Pines awarded my day on that same day I did the concert before. And also on Rhythms and Conversation, Lauderhill awarded me again my day for the 27th of June for Caribbean Heritage. So, you know, I just give thanks. To me, once you love what you do, I just love what I do. And I love to share this, because my whole thing is that being a musician is a very spiritual thing. And if everybody can experience it, you don't have to be a great musician, but through drums, you can experience, the normal person can experience it. And if one time in their life, it can make a difference and joy. Thank you for having me, Meredith. Thank you, Marianne, for joining me, my sisters. And I really appreciate all what you both do and what your company Barack thing does and everything. And I know that we need it now because of COVID too, even before. But now, with the amount of dangers, there's a lot of sad people up there. And we have to use that peace to let them have hope. So I hope that's what we pray for.
That's it. It's all about hope and happiness and feeling good and peace. Willie, it's always a pleasure to just be around you and listen to you and know what you're doing. So thank you so much for joining us. And Marianne, I'm thrilled that you were able to be here as well today. And thank you. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.